Live on radio in 3, 2, 1. Live on video in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Uncommon Ground with Mike Davis.
And Troy Blevins.
And Pete Melfi.
We are here in the beautiful factory studios, and we are the show that is
Laugh and Learn.
the best Laugh and Learn show.
The original.
The original. The one, the only Laugh and Learn show. You go a lot of other places for information, and they're good.
Well, I think the Hodge twins tried to, do a little Laugh and Learn stuff too.
They're pretty good.
Yeah,
they're
try and
pretty
do
good
Laugh
guys.
and Learn, but they're not the original.
They are pretty good guys.
They're okay.
I do
that's why
like
they
them.
steal from us, because they already had our format.
I'm going to steal from them today, too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We need to pay them back every
We're
once
going to
in a
pay
while.
them back. So we're going to go right off the lead with a steal from the Hodge twins.
All right, but
So they had-
first, before we do that, let's do a sponsor read.
Let's make some money first.
Us,
Because the Hodge twins would make money first, too, because
Yeah.
they got clothing.
they're talking about
apparel.
They're doing this and looking
I
at
know.
their hat and
They're
going
flexing,
yeah.
which you
Going,
shouldn't
yeah.
do. Don't
No,
flex.
I'm not going to
It's
do
not good for us when you flex.
Not going to do that. Opening their doors in 2008, Brightway Insurance, the Casey agency, has proudly stood by their customers through hurricanes, major floods, hail, and fires. Through these events, the agency has become a much-needed insurance resource in times of trouble and hardship. Honesty and integrity are the pillars of our core values, says owner Ashley Casey. We pride ourselves on being insurance experts while developing strategies that help our clients meet their insurance needs. Give them a call at 904-217-7547. All right. Oh, you're over there.
I'm good. I got
How
us
come
up. I haven't been able to
turn
show
your
you.
sound down and it comes back on every
Well,
time. Why
every
does it
once
do
in a
that?
while, it just does that. Because my phone thinks for
Samsung.
itself.
Samsung.
Well, I know, but at least it's, while it's talking, it's not listening.
Well, happy Monday, Mike.
Happy Monday. And where are we? Are we in Cleveland?
We are in the beautiful factory studios in St. Augustine, Florida, where it did not flood this weekend.
So we're not in Cleveland?
We are not in Cleveland.
You don't get the reference, do you?
No, I
Pete,
don't.
do you get the reference?
If Troy doesn't get it, I definitely do.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, did you watch a lot of Drew Carey this week?
No.
I mean,
So Kamala Harris
Okay.
was in Cleveland.
oh, see, like you actually cared about what she
They
said.
gave her a mic.
Okay.
Wasn't the old rock ad where they were joking about, hey, it's great to be in Cleveland, and the bandmate comes up and says, we're in Detroit,
Yeah.
right? So it's just funny that Cleveland was in
That
the story.
happens more than people believe.
Oh, no, if you're traveling around a bunch, it's hard
Because
to
I can
figure out
tell
where you live.
Like at the
Or where you're
amphitheater, we had more than one artist go, okay, where exactly are we?
Yeah, what should I say?
And I said, you can either say Florida or you can say St. Augustine.
Mm-hmm.
Do not say Jacksonville.
Don't say Jacksonville. That would be bad.
And there was a couple of people that screwed up. But
Yeah.
I mean, and they said because they flew into Jacksonville and they thought they were still there.
Don't do that.
Yeah, they read their ticket and they thought they were still there, but they were mostly slackers.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she had the mic in her hand. She pulled it down, looked at her advisor. If it had been you would have already told her, hey, we're in Cleveland. Pete would have said, hey, as a world-class producer, we're in Cleveland. Before you get off the bus, remember,
Yeah.
say Cleveland.
Cleveland.
So she says with the mic open, what city are we in again? Are we in Cleveland? And they, yep, we're in Cleveland. Hey, it's great to be in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Now, the only problem with that, I go back to the Hodge twins joke, right? Every time you see them speak, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, doesn't it look like they're speaking to a book club that's lost half their members?
Yeah. No.
I mean, that's kind of what it looks like.
No, because at book clubs they sit closer.
Not anymore.
Yeah. No, I mean, they still sit closer.
It's probably virtual book clubs now.
Because they take like the 6 feet thing,
Yeah.
and it reminds me of me eating lima beans when I was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
Like, you were given like 2 spoonsful,
Yep.
and you'd eat like 4, and then you'd try and spread it around like you ate more.
Mhm.
That's what their crowds look like.
Yeah.
They look like my lima beans trying to fool my parents. Like there's more people there, or
It's just spread
it's
out.
really spread out.
Hey,
So-
I forgot to give you this too. Your mail showed up today.
What is it? What do we
your
got? What do we got?
It's mail.
Oh, sweet. What is it for real?
I told you, it's your mail.
It says small town. Oh my gosh.
It's your mail.
I'm actually afraid. Should I open it on there?
I don't know if you feel brave enough.
I don't have a knife. You give me your pocket knife. Mine's... All right.
Do not hurt yourself.
All right. I'll try not to hurt myself.
Do not hurt yourself. Pete is not an EMT.
All right, I think that's
He's a
fine.
lot of things, and he has a truck that we can lay you down in, take you to the hospital, but he's not an EMT.
All right. See what is in the box from Earl. Oh, jeez.
Oh, my gosh. This is like Christmas with the kids, right?
It doesn't.
It's probably just a card that says sidekick.
Oh, okay. Here we go. It is another bobblehead. Let's put Bob Ross.
It's another
And Bob
bobblehead.
Ross.
Cool.
So,
Thanks, Earl.
We have Bob Ross and Bob Ross.
All right.
Sweet. Thanks, Earl. You're the man.
So the writing
And
on the
it's-
box may not have been exactly
It was
descriptive.
not Viagra. It was Bob Ross.
Okay, just checking.
I don't know of anyone that Bob Ross that works on that way.
I don't know. There's probably some people that
There's
Bob
some
Ross is
stoner
their
dudes out
Viagra.
there. There's some stoner dudes
Gotta
out there.
tell
that-
you, there's a fetish for everything, Troy.
Yeah.
I just don't want to meet the people that have
Yeah,
that fetish.
Bob Ross.
I'm passing on
Bob
that
Ross.
one.
And I tell you what, I'm starting to get a Bob Ross collection.
You are.
You're just
So-
going to be
What
the
is
Bob
the-
Ross
what is-
guy.
I guess why? Because of the awards we used to do where you used to dress up as Bob Ross,
Yeah.
right? I forgot about that.
Yeah, I had the Bob Ross hair and the
Yeah.
little.
Did that not
What is-
make it to the factory studio?
That didn't make it to the
I don't
factory,
know.
did it?
I think I left it behind.
How could you leave Bob Ross's wig behind?
I don't know. We left.
It's the only time during the week you had hair.
We left in such a rush.
We did leave in a rush.
We left in such a rush.
Ah.
All right, so I got to. Speaking of presents,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a very important day for you,
It is.
and I don't know
Yeah.
what you got Hillary for her birthday, but it is Hillary's birthday. And I know you were debating over a moo in case you were in an elevator.
I was going to give her an elevator
you-
moo
that
so
you
that
would-
she would always have one.
I figured you would always
Yes.
carry it with you
I figured that's what we
in
needed.
case, because
Yep.
you have 92 backpacks. So
Yeah.
you need a Hillary moo
Mhm.
in your backpack in case
Well,
that scenario does come up.
But as we were sitting here and I was doing like last second research,
Mm-hmm.
not minute, second. Today is her birthday,
Mm-hmm,
right? So 4 years ago, the Twitterverse was just on fire.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, congratulations to the next president of the United States. You're going to be the first woman president ever. Happy birthday. All of these tweets. I mean, it's like an entire day of people congratulating Hillary for winning the election.
Mhm.
So I framed some of those and I sent them to her.
You gave her
I
those
just
cards.
wanted to remember the day when people loved her on her birthday and sent her nice messages and encouraging because they were all nice and encouraging messages. I just didn't want her to forget how much people loved her and how much hope they had.
Well, last year you sent her a dollhouse with a glass ceiling.
I did send that. I
That was
did.
intact.
It was intact.
It was completely intact.
Well, the set
I'm sure
ha-
it's broken now.
The set had a Billy Joel rock in it,
Mhm.
and I took that out
Yeah.
because I didn't want the glass ceiling to get broken. So
Yeah.
I did do that.
Yeah.
The
So-
Billy Joel rock is gone.
Yeah. It's also Pat Sajak's birthday
Okay.
and Seth MacFarlane's birthday.
Yes.
So
Me, Hillary, you've got to send a gift to Pat Sajak.
I
And-
think I'm
and-
more of a Seth. I'm a big fan of Seth.
No, Pete's a better fan of Seth. He's cooler than you.
He's way cooler
Pete
than
is
me.
way cooler than you, so he's got to send a cool gift to Seth MacFarlane. You'll send some dad gift to Seth MacFarlane, and we'll never talk to him again. Not that we have in the first place.
Pat would enjoy the dad gift. So, okay. I got you.
Yeah, get Pat a dad gift.
You know, you're not anything.
Pete, what are you getting
sometimes-
Seth? I don't need to
sometimes
know
you're
what
logical.
Troy's getting Pat Sajak, but what are you getting Seth?
I'm getting him a signed copy of a Bob Ross bobblehead from Troy Blevins.
That is awesome.
His
I'm
biggest fan.
I'm getting Pat this.
Best gift ever.
That's probably what Pat wants.
I thought we did that subtly. I handed it to you. It wasn't facing you. I was hoping you just leave it out there
I
for a
wasn't
second.
going to leave it there. I knew it said something on the front.
How did you know it said
Because
something
the way
on the
you
front?
turned it and set it up.
I told him, Mike, if you're not slick about it, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Mike and slick. Two words that just don't belong in the same sentence.
Yeah. So, no, it's too funny.
Hey,
but
can't
thank
do
you,
it.
Earl. Thank you, Earl, for my
Yeah.
present on Hillary's birthday.
All right. So ACB is going to be voted on. Amy Coney Barrett.
Mhm.
So Trump will have 3 Supreme Court nominees
Mm-hmm.
in 4 years.
And it's weird because her initials are the way I read the alphabet.
Yes. Because
Being-
you're
being
dyslexic. Yes.
It
So
works.
she's the first 3 letters of the alphabet
Yeah.
for you, no matter how you spell
Yeah,
it.
no matter how it works.
Yeah. BCA.
Yeah, no, it's all
ACB,
it's all together.
CAB.
Yeah, just the way it's lit, the lighting hits it. And
Yeah,
everything
you're
is
good.
a factor.
You're good.
So, yeah, people don't understand. Like when I do a read, I really have to read.
You
through
got to
it, like, a
concentrate
couple
on the
times-
read.
couple times. So, and then that's why I have to remember everything. Because if I wrote stuff down,
Mhm.
I would read it backwards and it wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So that's why I write one word.
Mm-hmm. One word.
One word.
Just
That's it.
one word.
That's it.
All right. So I was doing research this morning. You want to do research story on Joe Biden or do you want to do a coyote story?
Coyotes sound because I'm at the point now at this election. I know what I'm going to do now.
Yeah.
And Trump won my vote on Thursday
Okay.
because all he had to do is not be an ass.
Well, the Coyote story goes back to Thursday night.
Wait. Before we do this story, because I have made up my mind,
Yes.
is there any way that this story could waver my mind
No.
again? Okay.
No.
All right.
This has
We're gonna
nothing to do with
we're
Trump.
We're going to go with the story because
This has
I know which
nothing
way
to
I'm
do with
going.
Trump.
I know which way I'm going now. And we'll get
Nothing.
back to that because I think some people made up
Nothing
their
to
mind
do with
Thursday.
Donald Trump.
Okay.
Okay. So what you've got is he talked about coyotes,
Okay.
and you know what a coyote is.
Yeah, there are people that bring kids across and people across the borders.
That's a term. Coyotes is a
I
slang
assume
term
that
for a
it's
human
al-
trafficker.
It's also a skinny dog that makes a lot of noise.
It is a skinny dog. A Georgia
really,
state rep, I don't believe she's a congresswoman, she's a state rep,
Mhm.
right? Tweeted out that night that she couldn't believe Trump was stupid enough to suggest that a coyote could bring a human being across the border. All right? The best comeback was, hey, how did those 6 SEALs actually kill bin Laden?
Yeah.
So you have to.
They pelted him with the
They
balls.
pelted him with the beach ball.
The bouncy ball on their nose.
Take it anymore.
Um,
So you have to wonder: is this somebody who
Well,
just hasn't paid attention to the
wasn't
immigration
it,
battle?
Wasn't it Biden who said something about the cattle guards? We're spending too much money on cattle guards.
I don't think Biden was the cattle guard guy.
Who was the cattle guard
Somebody did say it.
guy? All right,
um,
and Pete, you know what a cattle guard is?
Sure, but refresh my
Well,
memory.
hang on.
No, well, a cattle guard. One of
Tell him how much they cost first. He might not want them.
well,
he
the
might think that
cattle
they're
guards.
wasteless.
Cattle guards were like $5,000
A location.
per location,
They're all over the West.
and
Cattle guards.
someone, and I thought it was Biden, but it might not have been Biden. It was someone in Congress who got confused and thought a cattle guard was an actual human being. A cattle guard is like a grate that's put across the roadway, and cows won't step on stuff that are uneven. So it guards them from going from property to property. And we have cattle guards in national parks and different things like that. And that was going to be their budget, is they were going to fire and outsource all the cattle guards. Wasn't that the story?
That was the story. There was a congressman who obviously was not from out west. And so the person wanted to fire all the cattle guards to save money, thinking that they were really, truly cattle guards. Well,
Yeah, they thought they were
Snopes,
security guards for cows.
Snopes said it's not real, but I'm going to tell you that it probably is real, because before the Secretary of Energy could respond, presumably to try to straighten out President Obama on the matter, Vice President Joe Biden intervened with the request and said before any cattle guards were fired, they'd be given 6 months of retraining for Arizona border guards. So it is. So there's been some jokes off of this.
Well, I mean,
It's been around a while.
and there was a congressman who truly believed if we sent more troops to Guam, it would flip the island.
Yeah, it would
over.
flip the island. Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
that really happened. That was a congressperson also. And by the way, Pete, you see I drained it first shot.
That was impressive, Mike.
I was 1 for 2 today. I was 1 for 2. I hit one.
Yeah, but that makes you 1 for 40
No, that
for the-
actually
for
makes
the-
me 1
for
for
the-
93.
for the factory.
That's closer.
It's 1 for
factory shooting.
93.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
not. I don't think I'll ever take another shot again.
I'm
by
1
the way.
for 93.
So no. So I mean, she actually thought a coyote.
Yeah.
He was talking about
1 for 93.
the scraggly dog that howls.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just frightening. When
It's frightening when people don't
these
understand.
people are making of our money.
Yeah.
They're making 180,000. You know.
Well, I think she's a Georgia State rep, so she's probably only making about
she's a Georgia
30.
State. She's not a
I don't think,
representative.
no,
She's
I
not
don't
a
think she's a
House of
congressperson.
Representatives.
I
Oh,
think
okay.
she's a state
Okay.
person. So I don't think she's making that much money. She's still making enough money. She should know what a coyote is.
Well, you know, people voted for her.
Yep.
A lot
And they might have known what a coyote is, and somebody should have told her.
Yeah. Their production person should have
Yeah.
let them know.
Somebody should have let them know.
Yeah, Pete would have told us that.
Yes.
So, yeah. But no, I think a lot of terms like that get lost in different people and stuff like that. But you know, who's never lost on terms like this, Arnett Heating.
Arnett Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been around St. Augustine since 1932. If you have problems with your heating and air conditioning system, they're the company to call. They're absolutely amazing. They're right downtown. They've got a great staff. Gerard Meeks has been here since 1971.
Mm-hmm.
You were 4.
Yeah.
You were 4 when he came to town. And
you were in
started.
kindergarten.
Yeah, and went to work with Arnett.
Yeah.
I was in kindergarten. So, but they do a great job. They're absolutely amazing. They have a fantastic metal shop. If you need anything made, broken, bent, they're great at that.
And they're loyal listeners to the show.
They're very loyal listeners. And
So thank you, guys.
So if you have a heating and air conditioning problem, you want to get your heating and air conditioning serviced. I know it's getting a little cooler right now, but winter is coming. And what did Joe Biden said? It's going to be a dark winter, so that means it's going to be a cold winter. So call Arnett and make sure.
Did you see Denver?
Denver was snowing yesterday.
Global warming is killing it in
It's
October.
Killing it in October.
Yeah.
All right, so if you have any,
Or is that climate change?
if you have any needs for heating and air conditioning, Arnett.
Yep. So they'll help you through.
They
all
will
of
help
those-
you through
all
anything.
conditions.
And Gerard is a first-class person. When you get to deal with him, it's a pleasure.
All conditions.
Yep.
All right. So what you got over there, man?
What do I have? Well, we did Coyotes.
Mhm.
I have a couple of Joe Biden updates.
Okay. Give me the Joe Biden updates.
Let's
'cause
get
we
those
do-
over
We
with.
do have 5 questions
We do.
coming up.
Okay.
And
So there were dueling
banjos?
It was now kind of, sort of, but
Pianos?
not really. Like, if you don't like politics, it was probably like a dueling banjo thing. But if you like politics, you had dueling rallies. So Trump did 3 rallies or 4 rallies on Saturday, and Biden did 1. You can't worry.
He's got to be exhausted.
He's got to pace himself. I don't want him to get overworked. He did take.
He did one in front of 8 people spread around like my lima beans when I was a kid.
Oh, no, it's better than that. He was in Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So they've been doing this drive-up rally where people drive up in their cars, and then Biden talks to them through a microphone as they have their windows down or they're listening to, I guess, on a radio station or something. So apparently it wasn't very full, so there was plenty of room for other cars. So a bunch of cars decided, let's just go to the Biden rally. The only problem is all those cars were occupied by Trump supporters. So one of the reporters there said it's almost like it's a Trump rally now. So they were honking their horns at Joe. They had a megaphone across the street yelling at Joe. So Joe went from the nice grandparent that sits in the chair that he does all these interviews that gets softball questions asked.
With one leg up, one leg down.
Yeah, it's I'm Joe
Super
Biden.
casual.
Yeah, I'm super
here's
casual. Yeah.
here's the you know how you have the doctor's pose,
Yeah,
but Joe evidently has mastered the one leg up, one leg down
yeah.
on that seat of his.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, someone told him that gets him votes.
Yes.
Because
Well, they
there's
probably
no
had-
way you can look at that and go, oh, he looks comfortable.
No. So it gets better. So have you guys ever hit a ball or thrown a ball in a neighbor's yard, and there's an angry male neighbor on the front porch of the yard yelling at you?
One of my 5 questions has
Yes.
100% to do with a neighbor just like that.
Okay.
So the beast, Sandlot beast,
Sandlot and the
the
Beast.
beast,
Yeah.
the beast scenario.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what Joe Biden looked like during the entire rally. He was screaming at the people that were there. It was a get off my porch moment, get out of my yard moment. Get that damn ball and you crazy kids get out of my yard.
Get out of my yard.
I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you crazy kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
Scooby-Doo.
other one, I mean, that's exactly what he looks like, right?
Mhm.
So he called the people honking the horns chumps.
Chump.
So we have Obama
They
say
could have been chump. They could have been chumpy.
they could have been.
Because if they went into his rally, that's kind of chumpy.
Would you do something like
No,
that?
I wouldn't do anything.
Pete,
like
would
that.
you do something like that?
I don't think I would.
I wouldn't do anything like that.
I don't think I would do something
Yeah,
like
I don't
that.
think you would.
No.
I might possibly.
I'm not saying that I'm going to
I think
tell
of
somebody
the
they
people-
shouldn't do
I
that
think of
because it's their
people-
First Amendment right, but you would think that they would
No,
have enough
I'm not
respect for somebody running office not to do
I'm
that.
just going to call it a little chumpy. But I can tell you, of the
Yeah.
3 in the room right now, you, I think, might have done it 20 years ago. Pete, I think you would do it if it was the wrong politician. If it was a politician you really do. I don't think I would do it though.
40 years ago, I definitely would have
Yeah,
done
that's what I'm saying.
it. I would have definitely
Yeah,
done it.
That's what I'm saying.
I would have definitely done it.
But I've never been a guy, because I'm a guy who doesn't throw stones too much, because I know my lifestyle. I can't
So-
live in a glass house.
I'm trying to figure where Pete fits into this story.
Mhm.
But if 20 years ago I said I'm thinking about doing that,
Mhm.
you would have said, I think that's a great idea. Or wanting to get me to, you would have said, I double dog dare you to do it. I don't think you
would
got the guts to
probably
do
have
it.
said you don't have enough nuts.
And then I would have 100%.
Then you would have had to have done it.
I would have had to have done
You would
it.
have had to have done
Yes.
it at that point. I know
Yep.
exactly what I would have said
Yeah.
to give you your chump
I,
label.
I actually did something like that as a 15-year-old.
Did you?
Yeah, I wasn't I wasn't a Gator fan. I was a Seminole fan, but somewhere along the line, I had collected a shirt that said "Eat More Dog,"
Mhm.
and it was a Gator eating a bulldog.
Mhm.
And I got to go have lunch at Hugh Durham's house when we were up at the Georgia camp,
Mhm.
and I wore that shirt. Somebody dared me,
Mhm.
and so I did. I
Yeah.
felt like I was a really
someone,
nice guy.
Someone probably said
Someone said you don't have
"You
the guts to
enough
do
nut-
it.
You
Yeah,
don't have enough nuts."
And I did
you-
it.
And you put on the shirt.
I did.
I want to ask this question right now.
Yeah.
Are you ready to admit to one of the best practical jokes of all time?
Which one's that?
It involves music.
No, I don't remember this. That was not me.
Was it?
No,
Oh,
the
okay.
original joke.
I know you blamed it on someone
No,
else.
the original joke was never mine.
Mhm.
I did continue it on after like 5 or 6 years, but the original joke, and I could say the
Because
whole
I got
joke right
blamed.
now.
I got blamed for it.
You got blamed for it. I
Does
got
he
blamed
know
for
who it is?
No. Have I ever told you who it was?
Yes, I know who it is.
Yeah. So no, I never did it.
Okay.
I mean, I can
It's
say it on the
it's a
air
practical
because
joke. It's a practical joke who was played on a friend of mine, and he's been on the air, and it's Mike's uncle. Because we played so many practical jokes, it was always thought that I did it, and I didn't know who did it.
I got
for
blamed for putting you up to do it.
Yeah, I didn't know who did it for like 20 years, and this
Yeah.
is going on 30 years. So,
And,
I
it,
mean,
and I'm
I've
not
known
going to
for about
name the
10.
name of who it was.
I've known for about 10 years.
It was another Gator fan that did it to
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It
That's
it
the part that
someone-
was brilliant.
It was someone from his own side,
own camp
who
that did it to him.
did the
Yeah.
practical joke on
Yeah,
it.
it was awesome. And he didn't just do it 1 year. He got away with it multiple years.
I know. I got blamed every year.
I know. Multiple
Every year.
years. It was great.
So
All right. So Grumpy Joe. So the other one that happened, I was watching CNN this morning. I went to their website, kind of looked up some news because I'm getting all kinds of news that's confirming my bias that Trump's doing really well. So I went to CNN to look at some other stuff. So they were touting how much money Joe Biden had, right? He's got millions of dollars in the bank. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if I had millions of dollars in the bank, why am I not spending said millions of dollars in the bank? Because the election is 9 days or 8 days away
you
now.
want me to answer that?
Go ahead.
He needs it for court fees for his kid.
He might.
Sorry, Joe. Sorry, and I was the guy who said don't pick on the son, but that was too. It was
right
like,
there.
It was like
It was right there. So they're talking about Joe Biden, right, is all this money. And if you're watching the World Series, you'll see this ad. And then they play part of a clip of a Joe Biden political campaign ad on the World Series. And I start laughing because I don't think CNN gets what's going on with the World Series. Do you know that this World Series is one of the lowest rated World Series ever?
I know.
Ever.
I'm going to watch it tonight.
I know.
The games have been really good.
The games have been good.
Games have been really good. It's great pitching, and there's good characters. I mean, both sides have. They're both. It's the two right teams to be in.
No, it's not. It would have been the Braves and the Rays. It would be the two right teams.
The two best teams.
It would have been the two right teams. For the Braves.
The two right teams. You're correct. The two best teams right now, the most talented teams in Major League Baseball, are in it.
So here's the thing that was great is I wake up Sunday morning and I see something come across one of the news feeds that I follow about what a great finish it was. So I go back and I watch the highlight.
Yeah, Game 4.
Game 4 finish.
That's the most ridiculous thing.
And one of our buddies, Mike Neighbors, who does a lot of sports, he was on the thread and he says the best baseball game he's ever watched in his life.
It was, and I'll tell you this, that was Saturday night, and I was planning on going back and watching it because I was out.
Yeah.
So I didn't see it happen live, and everything started hitting my phone.
Yeah.
So I had to go and I watched the last play.
Okay.
I watched the last half an inning.
Okay.
And that's all you really need to watch.
Well, but there was a lot of home runs back and forth.
Yeah,
they
but
kept
it
giving
was-
one team or another, but
Yeah.
it was a crazy play.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
It was a little league play in the World Series game 4.
All right. Do you know the last time a World Series game ended on an error was?
Probably Bill Buckner.
It was Bill Buckner.
Probably
Bill Buckner.
Bill Buckner.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bill.
And he just passed a year and a
Yeah,
half
I'm
ago,
sorry,
so-
Bill.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. He just passed.
I didn't want to be wrong, but I didn't want to say the answer
Yeah.
that was right. Sorry, Bill.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the last time that happened.
Yeah. And I wasn't a huge Red Sox fan then. I was still is a big Braves fan, which in
Mhm.
'86 was painful.
Yeah.
'86 rooting for the Braves was
Yeah, they had already traded Murphy to
no.
the
Murph
Phillies.
was still there, I think, till
Oh.
'80. No, they did.
They just traded
They
him to
just
the
traded him
Phillies,
to
I
the
think.
Phillies, which was even more painful to
I think
watch the Murph.
I think
the
Horner
Phillies.
was gone at that point. All right. The other thing this Saturday that took place,
the Trump boat parade.
boat parade.
Yeah.
My goodness gracious!
Mhm.
I called Pete, and Pete. It was
Did
probably
Pete answer?
it was probably around 11 o'clock. Yeah, he answered. So me,
How come you always answer for him?
because he knows I might need bail money. There's a difference in that.
I answer for both of you. Mike, you sometimes have valuable stories.
Occasionally.
yeah.
Occasionally.
But he answered.
Occasionally, sometimes. Not always, sometimes.
I was
but
still
occasionally.
asleep on Saturday.
He was still. It was
Yeah.
around 11 o'clock, so it was early for him.
All right.
But I come across. I couldn't go. I had to go to the island to get something.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go across the Bridge Alliance because they were all gathered on the Bridge Alliance, and it was at a snail's pace. Like the entire bridge was covered on the sidewalks with Trump people.
Trump people.
I was like, oh, the boat parade. So I go around. I go 312. I come back 312. The boats have started to come, and the lead boat is about where 312 is.
Mhm.
Okay, the bridge. And you can see all the way into town.
Yep.
And the boats are about 3 or 4 across, all the way back and past. I couldn't see past, but all the way back to the Bridge Alliance.
Yeah.
There was that many people in that boat parade.
Yeah.
So, and then the Biden's parade was Sunday, and it was the poor guy in the kayak. He barely made it across.
He barely made it across. You got to be
He
careful.
barely made it across. So
You got to be careful.
He almost ran into the sunken sailboat.
So someone put it was Polling USA put this out today because everybody's freaking out over early voting and who's voting and not voting. And, I still think there's going to be a huge turnout on Election Day because a lot of people have looked at it and said, I want to make sure my vote counts. I'm going to go. And I'm one of those guys. Have you voted yet?
I'm voting tomorrow, I believe.
Pete?
Not yet.
I'm going either tomorrow or Wednesday. It just depends on
Right.
what my schedule looks like.
So according to this poll, and we know all polls can say whatever you want them to
Yeah.
say, in Florida, 59% of Trump supporters have yet to vote. 40% of Biden supporters. So you got to look and see where that is. In Georgia, it's 54-44 again, Trump. In North Carolina, right, where everybody's saying that Trump has to win North Carolina, 58% of Trump supporters have not voted yet. They plan on voting later. Biden, 41%. So what's going to be interesting is you can look at Democrats that have voted. You'll have some crossover Republicans. Independents, you could probably split them down the middle to try to kind of figure that out. You don't know for sure because everybody's vote is their own and it's private. But it's going to be interesting to see what the numbers look like on Election Day. If there's lines where there's normally not lines in the Republican districts, it's going to be really interesting.
If Trump has a lead when they release early voting and in Florida, North Carolina, and states like
over.
that, it's done.
It's done.
It's just done.
It's done.
And if Biden's lead is narrow,
Yep.
I think Trump's still good.
Yeah.
If Biden's way out in front, then it's going to be a little nerve-wracking.
It's going to be a little nerve-wracking, but again, I think if those early numbers come out, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Hey, I am suggesting for next Tuesday night we do Carmelo's Pizza.
Okay.
Right, we order a pizza, we come hang out for a while.
Yeah. Well, we'll have
Boss
an hour.
man can bring us some extra
We'll have an
food.
hour between
Yeah.
6 and 7, so we'll
Yeah.
have an hour break between Uncommon Ground and our election special.
How late are we going that night?
I'm thinking. Well, we can go.
Are we going to do intermittent stories as the night goes on?
We can go to whatever time we want, but we'll have. I'll have Blake helping with production assistance, giving us numbers and different things.
Okay.
And so we'll have a good Tuesday night.
I mean, do we need to set a cot up out in the lobby so we can just sleep here that night?
No, we're good.
Okay.
I can tell you this. After about 9 o'clock, I'm going to start cussing a lot. So
How much are we drinking that night?
it
Depends on the early voting.
Depends on how that early voting goes. So,
well, the funny thing is, as a podcast, we're a little different. I mean, personally, I have my own opinion and I want Trump to win. But if Trump wins, there'll be chaos for about a week with the left trying to get in touch with the fact that they were 100% wrong again, that they still haven't figured out the other half of America that they live with, much less bothered to listen and talk to us. If Biden wins, it becomes an automatic carnival. And you and I have stories that will go on and on and on for months.
I think either way, we're going to have stories.
We got stories.
Either
Yeah.
way, we're going to have stories, and that's without a doubt.
All right. You
That's
got
the-
it.
That's the beauty of politics. They help us out. We don't have to write anything down.
Nope.
We got politics.
All right.
All right. When you do need to write something down and you buy a property, here's who you should call. Land Title of America, the oldest title company serving the oldest city. Stephen Collins, the owner of Land Title, has been working in the title insurance industry here in St. Augustine since 1985, specializing in all title insurance and closing needs. If you have a title issue, there is no one better. Stay local. Choose Land Title. Give him a call on his personal cell, 904-501-4481. All right, I don't know if Pete was purposely screwing with me because you know how my peripheral is,
Yeah.
but he just dropped a piece of paper over there.
Mhm.
Pete, did you do that on purpose?
No.
Did you even
I
know
can't keep up with all the things that make you uncomfortable,
No,
Troy.
no. It's movement in my peripheral.
So, Pete, let me sum up what makes Troy uncomfortable. Life and things that he can't control.
Yeah.
So that's the things that make Troy
I do have a
uncomfortable.
controlling problem.
You do have a controlling.
have a controlling
and that's the
problem.
thing. You're supposed to be the liberal guy. You would
Yeah.
think you're a little more freewheeling and relaxed, but that is not the case.
Yeah, no, I do have that. So
Hey, Jim just got here. Should we find him? Should we make him buy dinner next Tuesday?
I think Jim had a great comment about Hillary and you
This morning?
this morning
Ah.
on air, and I
He'll
can't
put it
remember-
back on
I
again,
can't
I'm
remember
sure.
exactly what
He'll
it
get
was,
it back
but
to us
it was a
again.
beautiful comment.
He'll be back.
So
All right. So the other, there's two stories. One's a Chelsea handler. The other, let's go on with Joe Biden. I'll get to Chelsea before we do five
Okay,
questions.
okay.
Because I know we got five. So one of Joe's new lines, occasionally when he goes out, or when he goes out occasionally, I guess is how I should say it. So when he's not at home in the basement and he's interviewing people, have you heard this line yet? America is headed for a dark winter.
winter is coming.
Winter
that
is
where he's
coming.
Trying to play
I
off
don't
of?
know.
Is that where he's trying to play off of?
America is
I wonder if
is
that's the
headed for
same
a
guy who
dark
told
winter.
him to sit on that bench that same way
I
with
don't
his
know.
leg who's giving him this advice.
So if you're running for president, don't you think you should have a hopeful message? Hey, we're going to get over the virus. Yes, it might be tough, but we're going to do this. Telling America we have a dark winter coming after the shit that we put up with so
But
far this year
fear-
is not the good thing.
Fear is a factor on his side. That's where his
I
base,
agree with you.
That's where
I agree
his
with you.
base is at.
Mhm.
His base right now is doom and gloom. If you don't have a mask, you're going to blow up.
And again, this is where I go back to something that the pollsters can't capture and can't see. I don't believe the majority of the country wants that future. Even if the virus is bad, they'd rather take their chances, live their life, and not be locked down and have to wear a damn mask and not be able to go to church. And I understand there's certain instances where that's exactly what you should do if you're sick or if you have some sort of pre-existing condition. But I don't think Americans want to live that way. And there's all kinds of stats out there, some of which we'll get to on Thursday when we do Best Guess, about how bad it is for humans. What's going on? Suicide rates, overdose deaths, all of those things are gone up because people don't like to be segregated from other people. So I look at that as if you vote for Biden, you're voting for a longer segregation, which is probably what Pete's going to do.
All right,
Because
and
you know
Pete-
he loves
Pete,
wearing
he-
the mask.
Mike brought up suicides, and what is evidently a lot of people are overdosing on fentanyl. What is fentanyl? I don't know what that is. Someone said something about that
It's
over the weekend. Is it
it's a very
drug?
dangerous drug.
Is it a drug that gets you high, or what's happening? I don't even know. And I'm sorry, I'm that naive, and I'm asking you guys because I don't know.
I think it's a painkiller type of drug, but it's very small amounts. Apparently, they say can kill you.
In a very small amount at a certain dosage, right, that it could kill you. So the police officers now carry Narcan, which Chief Fox has talked about when he's been on the show with us. If you ask me what a coyote is in a few minutes, I'm going to begin to wonder about you. But it's a very dangerous drug. It comes out of China
Did he
through
mention
Mexico.
fentanyl itself?
We've talked about fentanyl before on the
Okay.
show, probably 5 years ago. So I don't expect you to remember everything. But because police officers never used to have to do that kind of thing, but they'll come up on an incident where somebody is overdosed on it, and the Narcan is a injection where you stab
That's
them
what
with
they
it.
did in like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Yeah. I'm not
It's
going
like
to say it was the same drug, but
It's
yeah,
an
kinda,
adrenaline.
sorta.
It's an
Yes.
adrenaline that kind of gets everything going.
It's to get everything going back. But you're having to train police officers to do that, You don't hear much about it now because we've had so much other unrest issues and stories going on, but that's what it is.
Yeah, but I mean, someone was saying fentanyl's killed more than COVID, and no one's really reacting to that. And I mean, I don't know if they were just making an exaggeration.
According to Dan, it's 100 times more powerful than morphine.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
all right. And Dan, I'm trusting you. You don't have Jim's credentials for fact checking, but I'm going to
It's
trust
all right.
you.
No,
anyway.
no. I mean, like I said, I'm so naive to the entire thing. When I heard about it, I was like, okay, I got to ask the question.
And that's so funny. We've talked about it on the show.
Okay. Are you sure I was in the day you talked about it with? Because I wasn't always in with Chief Fox when you had it.
Yeah. I believe the segment before was something about your past record coming up, and you might have been nervous.
Okay,
and
I
missed the
definitely
fentanyl part.
blocked all of
Yeah,
that
you
out.
probably blocked
I
the whole
blocked
rest
all
of
of that
out.
out, so that
Yeah.
completely makes
Yes.
sense. That's
Yeah.
completely blocked
And
out.
I think Pete forgot about it because it was around the time that car disappeared.
Oh,
The really nice
that
car.
vet?
Yeah, and then somehow Pete showed up with one that looked exactly like it, that was the same color the next day.
No, his had fuzzy dice.
Oh,
And the
that's
one-
right.
the one
That's
that
how
got-
they knew it wasn't his
The one
car.
that got taken did not.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I got it.
So his had the fuzzy dice.
All right, before we get to 5 questions,
Okay.
quickly, Chelsea Handler.
Okay,
Apparently, she and 50 Cent
50 Cent.
used to hang out
Yeah,
together.
they were boyfriend girlfriend. Or
So
they had-
this
they had-
weekend-
they had something going on.
She released something on social media that reminded 50 Cent that he was black.
Mm-hmm. With the fact that he dated Chelsea Handler? Or?
No, the fact that he's black, so he should vote a certain way.
Mhm.
So this has been out there.
Chelsea said that?
Yes,
Oh, God.
yes. So here's the thing that's interesting. Donald Trump is supposed to be the white supremacist
Mhm.
because he doesn't reach out to minorities.
Mhm.
But when minorities say that they're voting for Donald Trump, white liberals refer to those minorities as racists.
Mhm.
Now, if I'm a white liberal, am I allowed to
No,
tell
you're
someone of
not.
color
No, you're not.
that they have to vote a certain way? Because isn't that racism?
No.
I got to ask you.
You know, you're trying to bring me into a conversation that there's no way I can possibly. My response, I'm just going to go with no one should tell anyone how they should vote.
I agree.
I'm just going to go with that and I am staying so on the fence on that one.
Pete, would you like to chime in on this?
I don't get in these discussions, Mike.
I just think whenever you're trying to tell somebody of color how to live their life and you're not that color and you don't have those experiences, you're wrong. And I'm saying that to a white woman, and I'm a white guy.
Yeah. No one should tell anyone, regardless of the color of their skin, how they should vote.
Agreed.
No.
And I don't tell, but I've asked,
It's their choice.
if somebody comes up to me and they know my political leanings, we'll have a conversation, whether they're voting the same way I'm voting or against it. There's other people I just ask, have you voted yet? Because I just want to make sure people are participating in a part of the process. They said the other day we might have the greatest voter participation, percent-wise, that we've had since 1908.
That's great.
And that's great for our country because we
I
get to
hope- I
find
hope
out
so.
what people think and where they're coming from.
I hope so, and I hope people respect the process.
So, Chelsea, ease up on your
All
ex-boyfriend.
right. 5 questions.
Yep.
All right. Question number 1. Pete, are you ready, sir?
I'm ready enough.
All right. Question number 1. You are given immortality, but you get to make the choice of how old you're going to stay that age. Okay? Forever. So they're saying you're turned into a vampire. At what age do you want to be for the rest of eternity?
Well, I'm thinking of what shape I was in during different parts of my life.
Yeah.
So probably me, I'm probably going to go back 10, 15 years. So probably early to mid 40s
Okay.
because I got in really good shape again right then. I had some injury issues in my late 20s and 30s that kind of bugged me for a while. So I wouldn't want to deal with that. So yeah, by my 40s.
Okay. Pete, what about you?
You know what? For the purpose of this exercise and for reasons of the follically challenged,
12. 12. He wants to be 12.
Because he was bald at 18.
I'm gonna go back to 17 because I still
17.
had plenty
I
of
was
hair.
gonna say he's bald at 18.
Still had plenty of hair at 17.
So
Pete, if you could have hair and be immortal, what age would you choose?
Probably around I'd say 27. 27. I could still play some games of basketball at 27, and I wasn't a complete and total idiot. I was pretty stupid, but
I would say I would probably say about 28 myself.
Okay.
I was still, my body started to break down probably late 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Like injuries really started hitting me and stuff. I still had hair, but I that really isn't the factor. I mean,
So I have a question for you because this is going to relate to you for the rest of eternity, right?
Yeah.
You're immortal.
yeah.
At 28, what would you say your age was mentally?
I was probably more mature at 28.
Uh-huh.
You knew me at 28
I knew you at 28.
than I am at 53.
I thought you were a jerk at 28.
yeah, you still
You were a
hung out
huge
with me.
Democrat.
Yeah.
You were all in for taxing everybody else's money as long
But
as it
I
didn't
was
touch
still
you.
like in my life choices
Yeah.
more mature than what I am right now.
I cannot disagree with that.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's
That
what I'm
that
saying.
might be one of the most logical things you've said on
Yeah.
this show.
Yeah. So I would say
Other
I'd say that
than
was a good.
Joe Biden needs the campaign cash for his son's bail.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's one of the
That
most
was too
logical.
easy though. That was too easy. You can't throw softballs at me like that. All right, here we go.
Yes.
You can instantly learn any language. What language would it be?
Well, I already know French. Buongiorno.
Yeah.
So I got to find
We-
another one.
We.
We. I don't.
I think bonjourno's Italian.
Yeah, I think.
Is
so
it
too.
really?
I think bonjour is just French.
Bonjour?
Yes.
Well, look at you guys being linguists.
Yeah.
Maybe I should learn
The
English.
the O. Well, if you add O to anything, isn't
Yeah.
it Italian?
Pretty much a vowel on the end is pretty much.
What about Spanish? Don't they get credit for vowels
They
at
get
the
some
end?
vowels at the end too. Sure.
For me, it'd be Spanish because I when I go surfing in Costa Rica, it's you communicate with people that speak a different language than you, but it would be nice to be able to converse in their language more freely. And there's a part of my brain that, I can do all this research and look up stuff, but the linguistic side of it, I struggle sometimes. And I can remember sitting in class, and I took Spanish for 2 years in high school and 2 years in college. And I could hear in my brain what it was supposed to sound like.
Yeah.
And then when I spoke it, I was like, what was that?
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Because that's not what I was hearing in my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I struggle with languages. So Spanish.
Yeah. Pete.
I am gonna go German because I think it's a language that nobody wants to learn. So you could talk in
It's such
code.
an ugly language.
It is the worst language. So you can talk
sound
in
angry.
code.
You sound angry, like you want to ask a girl out, and it's like,
You go out with me now.
yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
so angry.
It does. It
I think that
does.
would be like last on my list.
Yeah, I would just do it so that you could talk to one other person who knew German and nobody else would know what you were saying because nobody wants to learn that language.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Gives you a chance with those girls. So
Yeah, sure.
Have you seen some German girls lately? Just saying.
the East German swim team was not attractive.
No. Their weightlifting.
In
Their
the
weightlifting team
70s
was
when
tough.
steroids was rampant. Oh,
Listen, I'm going to say this about the 19.
I don't want to body shame anyone, but they took themselves.
The
Okay,
19
well then if I have to keep an ugly language just for the sake of the women, I'm going Russia.
That's
where
a
Mila
better
Kunis is
choice.
from.
I got to
Yeah.
give you. Yeah, the
Yeah,
East.
I was like confused by you. I thought I had yours nailed down,
Huh.
just so you could talk to Mila because she speaks Russian.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I should have gone
The
with.
East German weightlifting team,
Oh, their swim team or
their swim team, right,
Yeah.
would have given the Hodge twins. They
Oh,
would have
they
given
would've-
them a battle
they
in the
would've-
weight room.
Hodge twins would have ran like little.
I mean, they were tough, Pete. It was
They were frightening. I mean, Halloween's coming. I
it was
mean,
bad.
I don't know. Do you ever see the Jim Carrey character as him as a woman bodybuilder on In Living Color?
I don't think so.
It pretty much sums it up. You can Google that, look at that image, and that'll give you what they look like. I think mine is. I thought about Spanish, but so many more people speak Mandarin,
Mhm.
and I think that's still the power that's the other world power that we have. So I think I would try and do Mandarin if I could learn it instantly.
No, Pete and I have not been to China.
Have you guys ever been to Asia?
I just want to make sure we
have you
haven't
been to Asia at all?
Have you hiked on the AT in Virginia?
No, I have not.
Okay, just
Yeah,
checking.
No, I go in hilly spots.
All right.
It
Believe me, it was the second tallest peak on the East Coast.
was behind Klingman's.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Halloween's coming. What candy did you look forward to the most? All right. You remember you talking about that neighbor
hmm
that was like the mean curmudgeon?
Yes.
Okay. Mine was I had at my house that my parents were at. I had Mrs. Nicely. She was across the street.
Yep.
She gave out terrible candy. Sometimes didn't turn out the light on. Turned the lights on. She was absolutely just not a good neighbor, and she knew everything that was going on. At my grandmother's
Gladys Kravitz.
completely Gladys. All right. At my grandmother's house, it was Mr. Freed who lived across the street.
Yeah.
If you touched his grass,
Mm-hmm.
he was screaming at you. You know, and I played a lot of ball in the yard and stuff like that. If you touched
And
his grass,
and you probably weren't the best of throwers back then either.
no, I was pretty good, and that's why like the people I was throwing it to weren't the best of catchers, and they would go in Mr. Freed's yard.
It's the other guy's fault.
Yeah, of course it was. I didn't take blame then. I
Well,
don't
why
take it
didn't
now.
you stand with your back to Mr. Freed's yard?
Because the sun was in their face.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
Mama raised the ugly children, not stupid ones.
Mhm.
But Mr. Freed
Yeah.
at Halloween
Yep.
gave out the most candy. Like he'd give full Snicker. You know, Snicker bars now are like this big. Like
Yeah.
they used to be like huge.
They were big. They were
Like,
full size
They
Snickers
now
bars.
call them king size now.
Yes.
It was like that's the size they were.
That's
supposed
the
to be.
Snickers bar
But
we
he would
wanted.
give you like a whole Snickers bar, a whole like you know, whatever, a payday bar, whatever it was. He gave you the whole candy bar,
Yep.
and he gave out the best Halloween. So he had to be a fairly good dude.
Yeah.
But he just didn't like kids in his yard.
No.
And finally he warmed up to me after I was about 10 years old, and he was like, Troy, you know, because he realized I wasn't a horrible kid compared to some of the other neighborhood kids.
Some of the other neighborhood kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just shot people with BBs.
Yeah, that was my sister shot me.
Okay. All right.
So
Maybe he felt sorry for you after
yeah,
that.
yeah, it might have been. So, but mine was Mr. Freed and like getting the whole Snick, because you get the bite size stuff.
Anything that was like back then it was M&Ms.
Mhm.
Today it's anything that's Reese's.
Mhm.
I really like Reese's, but the thing I hated getting was any kind of marshmallow candy.
Mm.
I'm just not a marshmallow candy. Whatever. I was like, just no.
Yeah.
You would dump that out, and I would just put that in a pile.
Did you ever have a neighbor who'd give you like pennies?
No, I never got the penny neighbor.
Oh gosh, that was the worst.
But I remember this back then. The big thing was apples.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody gave you an apple, don't eat the apple.
And then you had the razor blade.
Yeah, every
razor blade
apple
story. Everybody
every
had
apple had a razor blade in it. Pete, do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I
I
remember.
mean, when I was growing up, every apple on Halloween had a razor blade.
well,
in
when
it.
I was growing up, every movie theater seat had an AIDS needle in it somewhere.
Where did you grow up?
That's
St. Augustine.
yeah. Come on, man.
I never heard
You
that.
never heard that?
I never heard that.
You were gonna sit down on the seat and the needle was gonna go off into your butt and you were gonna have AIDS.
Mm.
I never heard that.
I never experienced it.
I never. Pete, how many times did you get stuck with a needle?
That would be 0 times.
0
yeah.
times. No.
The urban legend
Yeah.
was strong.
And the funny thing was, when the apple razor story was going, people would still give out apples on Halloween. You'd watch it hit the bag.
Didn't they even have the movie Halloween or one of those movies?
Not when we were little.
No, the movie Halloween came out like I think we were in middle school.
We would have been late.
Didn't it
middle
have
school.
like a kid going in the emergency room with like a razor blade like duck?
I don't remember.
Okay, our listeners will tell us what
Someone
movie
will
that
tell
was.
us if that was. I'm not a big horror movie fan, so I don't remember. But I could tell you, it was just when the apple hit the bag, Pete. I expected the razor to just cut the bottom of the bag and everything to drop out on the ground. I mean, that's how many razor blade stories were out there.
Yeah, and someone else just texted and said, I'm the same age as Pete, and that story's real.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah. So
That is too funny.
okay. Question
Yep.
number 3 or 4?
Uh,
Question number 4.
Hang on, I got to do a read real quick before
Okay.
we do that.
Yeah, go do it.
Solar Stick was established in 2006. They are a local, portable power company proudly committed to American manufacturing, constant innovation, and creating jobs right here in St. Augustine. Solar Stick focuses on providing solutions for self-sufficiency, and they help users all over the world complete missions and save lives. Solar Stick, changing lives, saving lives, and reviving American manufacturing right here in the oldest city.
Yep. Appreciate you guys.
They're great sponsors, too.
Yep.
Really good people.
Original-
They're building a
original
brand
spo-
new corporate warehouse on the west side of town
Original
in the
sponsor.
city of St. Augustine.
But you know what? We need to probably do both reads because we missed one of our other reads. Oh, I already did Brightway. Never mind. I didn't erase it.
Are you with me today?
No, I need.
Are you with?
I have too much blood in my alcohol system.
I mean, you can't remember what fentanyl is. You
I
don't know if we did a
I
read.
don't know. I don't remember that conversation with fentanyl at all.
Pete, shows are going to be interesting this week. Troy is already struggling, and it's Monday.
I still don't believe because you would have Chief Fox in quite a bit when I
We
was
talked
gone.
about fentanyl.
Okay, I believe you
We
talked
talked
about
about
fentanyl.
fentanyl.
I don't think I was there.
We have
All right.
talked about it.
All right. No, I understand. All right, here we go. What movie scared you the most? What movie scared you the most?
So, are we talking movie theater or home?
Any movie of all time. I can tell you I've never been scared in a movie theater
All right.
because of a movie.
So, Poltergeist in the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
Poltergeist was pretty.
That's pretty.
That was pretty scary. Yeah, that was a little creepy. At home,
Don't go into the light.
Phantasm.
I tell you,
Phantasm was on HBO
Mhm.
or one
I
of the.
don't, I don't even know what that is.
You Fear the Ball.
I don't know what that is. I didn't see.
Oh
Pete,
my
did you see
gosh.
I've
Phantasm?
never heard of it.
I don't even know what it is.
So it was a sci-fi horror
Okay.
where they were taking people and compressing them into dwarfs and then sending them to some other place. But the way they would get the people
Wow.
is they had this
They're
silver.
creating like angry pygmies?
They had this silver ball
Mhm.
that would fly through the air. When it got close to you, these spikes would come out of it. One of them looked like a big old bad knife.
Mhm.
And it would stick right in your head, and then it would drill a hole in your head. So you had to fear the ball. It was bad. It was one of those movies you watch. You're like, okay, I don't know if I want to play baseball ever again.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I don't know if I.
Keep your eye on the ball.
Those were the two.
No.
Those were the two. What
So,
about you?
Well, I can tell you, in the movie theater, there were certain moments that really scared the hell out of you.
Yeah.
The pool scene at Poltergeist,
Yep.
where the bodies start popping up and stuff.
Yeah.
That scene was spooky as hell.
Yep.
And was it the Deep where the head popped out, or was it Jaws?
Jaws.
Jaws where the head popped out. That
Yeah.
moment there,
Yeah.
you peed your pants a little bit.
All right.
Because no one was really expecting it. The movie that scared me the most, and I watched Halloween at a party with people, and there was purposely their parents were trying to scare the hell out of us, and it worked.
Yeah.
But the scariest movie for me was I was probably about 10 years old. It's a very cult type movie, and it's called Trilogy of Terror. And what it is it has this little voodoo, and if anybody's seen this, they know exactly what I'm talking about. It was creepy as hell. Had a little voodoo doll. If you took the necklace off this voodoo doll, he came alive and tried to kill everyone. And he had this big knife, and he just at the end he's just sitting there. And
I saw that doll, but it was in a different movie. It was in Major League,
Mhm.
and it was in
Joe
Serrano.
Boo.
It was
Joe Boo.
it was Serrano.
F you, Joe Boo. So Pete, what's yours? And I
Ah.
so thought you were going to go with it.
Well, one of our answers, Stephen mentioned it,
Yeah.
and I will tell you, there's 2 times in high school everybody showed up.
So thought you were going to go.
No, everybody showed up to high school. We're sitting around at St. Joe in the morning, and everybody looks like they haven't slept all night.
Mhm.
One of the times was when it was on.
Mhm.
And it's like, hey, did you guys watch that Stephen King thing last night? Hell yeah, I couldn't sleep me either. The other one was Salem's Lot.
Oh,
With
yeah.
the guy scratching
Another
on the
Stephen
window.
King, yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was
Yeah.
like, are you watching it tonight? I got to watch to see how it ends, but I don't think I'll be able to sleep for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were the two. Pete?
Mine is actually another bobblehead that you got up there, and I was allowed to watch Child's Play way too early in life. At a
And that-
time
the-
where I still
the
had
age-
toys.
The age you see this stuff, I mean,
Yeah.
as a huge
It's true.
factor.
Yeah,
It's true.
yeah. So I thought that was pretty scary. I thought that was
Jaws scared the hell out of me, and you can tell it's in a huge effect because I surf all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I can tell you right now, I don't know. I probably saw Wizard of Oz when I was like 4 or 5 years old that I can remember.
That was scary
The
when you were
fly-
a little kid.
the flying
monkeys were
Yeah.
not
Were
cool.
no
Yeah.
freaking
Not cool.
joke.
Not
No-
cool.
No freaking joke.
No.
It should not have been. Kids should not be able to watch
No.
it. So
And the
Right.
problem is you tell your kids about this today,
Mhm.
and they don't understand how bad special effects were when we were growing up.
Mhm.
And now they're like, oh, that's just hysterical. Because
Yeah.
the special effects today are super cool. They're like Walking Dead
crazy.
special effects.
They're
Yeah.
crazy good.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. It's another scenario. All right, you're kidnapped by terrorists.
Yep.
What fictional character do you want to save you?
Pete?
I think me and Pete might be the same.
and you said before the show can't be a superhero, right?
Cannot be a superhero.
Cannot be a superhero.
Cannot be a superhero.
You got to go Jack Bauer, man. Come
oh,
on.
I didn't go that.
Oh, you gotta go
I went
Jack
a different
Bauer.
way, but that is a great guess, and I'm still going. I'm sticking with John McClane.
So I was going to go Jack Bauer,
Mm-hmm.
right? But because I want to be different, I'm going to go the $6 Million Man.
To Steve Austin.
Yeah, I'll
He'd
go with
be
Steve
solid.
Austin.
But he'd be solid.
I don't want Knight Rider coming to save me. I do not want him to show up.
Yeah.
Kid from Knight Rider, I don't need.
And you guys went more TV guys.
Yeah.
My guy's a movie guy, and
He's-
he's made. I mean, but I guess he only works during Christmas.
Yes.
My guy. So I hope my terrorist gets me around Christmas time.
Otherwise, you're going to be waiting.
I'm
a while.
screwed.
You're going to be waiting a while.
I got to hope Jack Bauer or Steve Austin shows up.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of nerdy stuff, because that was in the headlines.
Yes.
Are you excited about Friday?
Friday night, The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go rewatch the other series, the first one this week, and I still haven't watched the end of The Boys.
You haven't seen the end?
I haven't seen the end of The Boys.
Oh, gosh, yeah. You got.
It's not a show that you're like,
gotta
hey,
catch
Doris,
up.
do you want to watch The Boys? It's just not a show she's going to like. So, The Mandalorian, I want to catch up.
And neither
on.
one of you guys watched the 100, did you? Because they have a new season out, and they just finished their.
What is The 100?
The 100 is a Netflix show. It's 7 seasons long.
Okay.
So,
Well,
I'm
the
sure
other-
your kids have watched it.
So, all of our listeners out there, I'm looking for another series because I finished Long
You
Line.
should watch the 100 because it's sci-fi. It's got some cool effects in it. It's
I was thinking about watching the Man from High Castle,
Mhm.
but I haven't. Pete,
That's
have
a
you
good
been?
one.
Have
That's
you
a good
seen
one.
that?
The
Yeah,
Man
I just
from
finished
High
watching
Castle?
it.
High Castle.
The Man in the High Castle.
H-I.
The Man in the High Castle. I just finished
Yeah.
watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it a
really
series?
good. I binge watched all 4 seasons. Yeah.
Oh,
Is it
man.
4 or 5? I thought it was like 6 seasons. It's only
I think
4
it's
seasons?
4 seasons. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
But it took me a couple weekends to finish it. It's
And
good.
here, I've always been, since this Netflix and everything, I've been kind of a binge watcher anyway.
Yeah.
But COVID has made it so much worse. I think there's more bingers out there now than there
Oh,
ever
yeah.
have been.
Wait, but here's what's interesting about that. I kind of agree with you to a certain degree, right? But I think Netflix has taken a hit due to the Cuties fiasco.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bad
So
call.
That was a bad call on their part. But it's, if you look at sports today, you would think people would be eating up sports because they're just bored. I think people turned off the TV because they didn't want to hear any more bad news, and they haven't turned it back on yet.
Mm-hmm.
For anything.
They figured out they can live without
They
it.
can live without it. I don't need it.
But I think YouTube's crushing it, and I think more people are watching stuff from their phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, my son watches YouTube probably more than anything else. So
What on YouTube?
all different things. I mean,
Okay.
Epic Fails. He does his news from there. He does interviews from there. Everything's on YouTube.
So I think, I honestly think Twitter and Facebook are in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're on one of those platforms all the time, but I honestly think they're in trouble, and you're going to begin to see people disconnect from them. There's a show out right now. It was really funny though. Some guy on the left that you and I both know him, and I'm not going to mention him, had put a post out a week or two ago. He'd watched this movie about how bad social media was for you,
Mm-hmm.
and he deplatformed.
Mhm.
8 days later, he was posting again on social
Yeah,
media.
he's back. He's back.
I'm like,
He's like, I'm gonna say goodbye for now.
I am on a diet. 8 days later, where is those Big Macs?
All right, and I hate to end the show on this, but we do have to recognize we lost a good
A
friend.
really great person in
good
St.
guy.
Augustine.
If you
Yep.
if you knew him, Chico, you're going to be missed. A lot of love to your family. He had a tough battle with cancer. Unfortunately, cancer wins a lot of those battles, and a lot of families can relate to that. But just if you knew him, he's a guy who wants you to be smiling and remembering the good memories of him making you dance at the parties he was DJing. So,
Yeah.
so a lot of love to Chico's family.
Well, and I got to talk to one of his closer friends Sunday.
Okay.
And that person was telling me all the good things that he had done, how he had another friend that was sick, and he basically took him into his house for a while. And I mean, he was just a guy with a big heart,
Yeah.
was a great person. So he will be missed in St. Augustine.
Yep. So I want to say thank you to all our sponsors, all the people commenting, all the listeners out there. We appreciate you guys every day. This is Uncommon Ground with Mike and Troy, and we'll be right